What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Worky Wednesdays. I am your host, Jesse, and I'm here with some really cool guests tonight. We got our main man, Steve, over here, and we got our homie over here, El. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
It's going, man. Guys, thank you so much for joining tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Man, just a lot of cool stuff going on in the world today. In reality, we could be here for hours just trying to skim over everything that's going on, but man, just a lot going on. But again, I'm thankful, I'm grateful that you guys are here, and let's jump right into it, man. What a wild few weeks in terms of. Well, let's just go right into the news, man. You're a basketball fan, right?
Yeah.
Who's your basketball fan?
I'm a Sixers fan.
Okay, I for some reason I think because we're talking about the helicopter in Los Angeles popped up, I was thinking about the Lakers, Kobe Bryant, etc.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on with.
Yeah, Lakers just traded for Luka. Craziest trade, Seemed a little one-sided, but who knows what the details really were.
So what happened? Who got traded for who?
So it was basically the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka got dealt for Anthony Davis. A 31-year-old guy versus, Luka's a 25-year-old guy in literally his prime, face of the league basically. And everyone's just saying, how did this happen? How did the league just approve this trade? Because it seems like one-sided.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I mean, it's great for LA, getting such a big piece like that.
So in your opinion, why would they have done it?
It's coming out that supposedly it was because Luka, his conditioning, they always worried about it. He doesn't care too much about his conditioning, but I mean, the guy still goes out there, averages a triple-double, so, I mean.
And he said he's 25, so
25
this is going to be
old,
the second team. Is it a long-term career or a long-term contract?
Actually, I think he might be on the last year of his contract, so I think that might have been one of the cases why it was like one-sided, because they would have to re-sign him, and if he doesn't want to, he could easily leave.
Gotcha. So there's no big tag.
Exactly. But I mean, you go to LA, they'll offer you money. You're not leaving.
Yeah.
So.
They were saying though in video games, people tried to make the same trade, and the video games would reject it.
Yeah.
So
Every time.
I think the Mavericks got absolutely fleeced, but
absolutely.
Fleeced.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Huh. What else is going on? Any other significant trades?
Jimmy Butler just got traded to the Golden State Warriors.
Huh.
That's also
from the Miami Heat.
But they were going back and forth. The Heat with Butler, he's been suspended multiple times. He just didn't want to be there, so they basically just cut their losses and trade him away.
Yeah.
We got off track there. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Who's projected to win the NBA this year?
Man.
Good question.
That's a good question. I mean, Boston is out of the East.
Okay.
It's almost, probably guaranteed. That team's really, really good.
Is this going to be LeBron's last year?
I don't think so.
No.
He says he wants to play for another 4 or 5 years, but who knows?
He's 44 years old, right?
No, I think he is
40.
about 40.
Okay.
Yes.
Is his son still on the team?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He goes back and forth to the G League.
Yep.
Yeah.
The G League. Yep.
That's got to be cool, man. What a dream come true for both the father and the son.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely got to be pretty cool.
I mean, there's a lot of people that say he's not deserving, of that roster spot, but at the same time,
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, at the same time, who's going to bring, the fans?
And then on top of that, who's going to say no to LeBron James?
Really?
No.
Yeah.
No.
But also, LeBron's made some nice comments about Brownie doesn't need to be there. He can do whatever he wants. He's got financial stability for the rest of his life. He's trying to carve out a nice career in a sport. That's what he's grinding for. So you kind of tip your cap for anyone that does that. So
does Los Angeles actually have that much money circulating through that city? I mean, all the things that the Dodgers are doing, didn't they do like a $700 million contract?
Shohei Ohtani.
It's weird how they did it. They deferred all the years on his contract.
Yeah.
So.
I think he's making $2 million a year until the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Last 3 years maybe.
Yeah. So he's going to be getting paid for years and years. And years.
He's getting backloaded big time.
So I would imagine some sort of financial contract with interest and everything else is going to be put in place to pay that guy off.
Yeah, basically like long-term wealth, basically, is what he looked for.
Huh. But it's 15-year, right? Or 10-year? 10-year or 15 years, something like that. 10-year, I think.
I don't know how many.
I don't know what the contract was. I just know that the deferred payments are going to go well after he's even there.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Jesus.
yeah, just like Bobby Bonilla back in the day. I think this year might have been the last year they stopped paying him.
Yeah.
And,
he's
he's been retired for what, 15 years?
Holy crap! Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's our era.
That's how long ago it's been.
Yeah.
Baseball?
Yeah.
You actually have some roots in the pros, or that played professional
Yeah,
ball.
I played a little semi-pro baseball. Yeah, I was a pitcher.
Let's go. Cool, man. Don't you have a family or something? Remember?
Yes, yeah. My cousin, he plays. He was in the Caribbean Series playing for Team Puerto Rico. Yeah, so that's going on right now. The Caribbean Series. It's in Mexico.
Damn.
Yeah, so you got teams like you got Japan, Mexico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic,
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. So all those teams facing off for like the Caribbean Series.
Mhm.
So.
Is baseball the most popular sport down there, or just soccer?
And yes, yeah. Usually in the Caribbean, it's all baseball. Usually,
Gotcha.
Puerto Rico is baseball year round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
and Dominican Republic, they're putting out tons of players nonstop every year.
Cool. You got some athletic background too, don't you, there, player?
A little bit.
How are the Flyers looking, man? How are the Flyers looking this year?
They're a little streaky at times, but pretty good. They're a fun team to watch. They work hard. They just made some trades recently. Sent away two of their more skilled players, in my opinion. But I mean, every time I get a chance to watch, they're certainly an entertaining team to watch. And obviously, the fans have some pretty solid prospects that have been going up and down to Philadelphia, getting their cup of coffee in the NHL, which has been good. So. Obviously, me doing the color, I get to kind of follow the young guns' career before they go up to the NHL, which is awesome. So certainly some deserving guys that have gone up to Philadelphia.
Now, do you think those two guys? Because I know they were younger guys,
Yep.
and at some point people saw them as building pieces. Are you surprised by those trades?
Yes and no. I actually played with both of them. Maybe not games, but I knew both of them. Like when Morgan Frost came out of juniors, he joined our team when we were playing Toronto in the semifinals of the Calder Cup, which is the AHL. So I got to skate with him quite often. I just know Joel Farabee from whether that was just, I don't think we ever played a game together in Lehigh Valley, but practices and just being around the rink. So both good guys, probably two of the most, I guess, veteran guys of the Philadelphia organization at this point.
Wow.
So sad to see him go, but they went to Calgary. They'll do well.
They're
there.
going in good hands. In good hands.
No doubt.
Yeah, so the Flyers are, everyone says they're in rebuild mode. So, I mean, it's exciting to see them start building, and let's see if they build it right.
Interesting. So obviously they're not in the running to win it this year.
I mean, they're in the running for playoffs
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think they're either in a wild card spot or
Yes, they're close,
just
yeah.
out of wild card spot right now.
In
So.
your opinion, who do you think is going to take it this year?
Hockey's harder to predict like that.
Oh yeah.
There's just not one team you can. I mean, you look at the Oilers have some of the most skilled players with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. They're always a good pick. But hockey's it's really anyone's game. I think last year an 8-1 in the first round. That's why hockey's such a great sport, is because it's so many players. You got 18 players on the ice at one time, right? Not all, but in a game. So it's not 5 players on the court that stay out there for an entire quarter. You're constantly changing. Everyone's got to be buying in. Everyone's got to be fighting for the same. Hockey's a sport where anyone can win on any given night, which makes it fun.
So I think so. With that being said, though, but we're in a very interesting week. We're in we got a big game coming up.
Super Bowl.
A lot of moving pieces, and it just so happens it's a local team, and it's both of your guys' team.
There we go.
So so we got the Eagles playing the Kansas City Chiefs. What is it? Super Bowl 59, and it's a repeat from 2022. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. It's a rematch from 2022.
Man, the whole area is buzzing, and to be transparent, man. Obviously, I want the Eagles to win. You want the Eagles to win. You want the Eagles to win.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, I don't know that the Eagles are the more popular team here. And then the only reason I say that is because you're faced with a quarterback that is on a record pace,
Yeah.
who's young, who understands the game, has many Super Bowls under his three Super Bowls under his belt already. He was a Super Bowl MVP, and I have to check to see what Patrick Mahomes' age is, but for the younger generation, kids idolize a standout player, right? As adults, we look at these guys like, screw him, he always wins, blah, blah, blah. But kids, the young generation, they idolize the winners. So I don't know that the Eagles are the favorite team here.
We can throw Taylor Swift in the mix too, and
got a point. You got a point.
Yeah, the Swifties, they probably follow football now. It's all Chiefs fans.
You got a point, yeah.
But to your point too, though, Mahomes is so good and successful that people hate him naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the natural. That's the progression of being. Like, look at LeBron James. Like, same concept. I don't know how it was back in the day with like the greats like Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan, but in our area, if you're an elite athlete, you naturally get heckled by fans.
Sure.
So.
I believe back in the day, if there was social media, it would have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't.
Great point.
So
great point.
Yeah, I guarantee like Jordan would have drew tons of hate.
Yeah.
Gretzky, but
what a great point too.
Yeah,
so here comes social media now. Now social media allows people behind the scenes to hate.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas back then you had just ESPN highlighting Michael Jordan and Tyson and Mike Schmidt and all these guys from back in the day. Mm-hmm. Great point. But here we are. I mean, I think the Chiefs are the spreads have Chiefs at -5, 1 to 5, 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
1.5 point favorite.
Yeah. So it's basically it's a pick 'em. I see it as a pick 'em, but the Chiefs with their track record, it's hard to pick against them. So I get it.
I mean, you guys are not gonna like this statement, but I want the Birds to win. I really think that the Chiefs are gonna win.
Why is that? Because of Mahomes?
No,
the defense.
Not because of Mahomes, not because of the defense, but because of Andy Reid.
Okay.
Fair. So you think the coaching is gonna be bigger? Okay.
Yeah, and so I say that because if you look at the Eagles throughout the season, they lost one game throughout the season. They always won by 3 points, right? So it was always a very small win. It was always very strategic.
Who's this here? Who's the
Chiefs?
The Chiefs, yes.
The Chiefs. They always won. It was a very strategic game. Every game, they just won marginally. So they didn't waste energy, if that's a good way to explain it.
I feel like those close games are actually, you're more invested because, it's a nail biter. Mm-hmm. But I also think that, most of their games have been one-score games.
Right.
And we're talking about even bad teams. So at the same time, I don't think they faced a team like the Eagles.
Missed field goals, blocked field goals, penalties.
It's been pretty crazy.
To me, the Eagles had more of a dominant season than the Chiefs had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially, I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it, but your former New York Giant, the stud, Saquon, how do you stop that guy? But no, I just think the Eagles have had a more convincing season than the Chiefs.
I think if you look at both teams, position by position, the only position that the Chiefs are better might be tight end and quarterback. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Eagles
and tight end is actually, I would say tight end is pushing it. Perhaps the relationship quarterback between Mahomes and Kelce, but Goddard's a bad dude, man.
Yes,
and so is the other Eagles tight end.
Calcaterra,
he's kind of came out of nowhere and he's making big plays.
Right.
The Chiefs, they're not getting Rashid Rice back, are they, for the Super Bowl?
I heard rumors that he might come back. I'm not sure.
That was a big loss, and I credit the Chiefs for doing what they did without their number one receiver. Rashid Rice is a league of his own. Top. I don't know, 10.
Yeah,
top 10 in the NFL.
He was supposed to be.
He was a dog.
I think he was in all fantasy formats. I think he was projected first round. I think, or first round receiver, anyways.
It's a big loss. So for them to do what they did without him is.
But now look who Worthy.
Worthy had stepped up big time for that.
Big time.
Hopkins doesn't get the ball much.
Watch. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I had him on my fantasy team, so I was pumped up. Nothing though.
Yeah.
What's that? What did you say?
He had a few big touchdowns.
Yeah. A couple big catches he had out there.
He's still a threat, so.
Yeah. We'll see what happens though. It's going to be he might end up being a hero. I think Dotson is going to have a great game. Who's another Lehigh Valley local. I think Saquon's going to have a big game. I think the kickers, I think that's going to be an important part of it.
That's a great point because Jake Elliott is struggling. So
as is the Chiefs, though.
You almost wonder, like, third down for the Eagles, if they're gonna take that in consideration in scoring situations. Do you try to get a few yards and then get to that 4th and 1 more often and then try to get the first down off?
I
don't know. That's going to be part of the Nick Siriani strategy that you were talking about versus Andy Reid. But Jake Elliott's not. He's not the Jake Elliott we knew a couple years ago right now.
Yeah, I think early, if he struggles with kicks, I think that's going to determine what Sirianni does later in the game.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It's gonna I think it's gonna be a very close game. Perhaps you two can help me understand this a little bit because I'm not that big of a bettor. So it has the money line has the Chiefs under minus 120 favorite. I think we just touched on that though.
Yeah.
Eagles being the underdogs, but the over-under at 48.5 total points. So I guess that's a combination of the 2 points, obviously.
Yeah, and the minus 120 is if you're minus, you're the favorite.
Yeah.
So if you bet $120, you win 100.
Okay.
If they were plus 100, plus 120, bet $100 win 120.
Okay.
So if you're plus money, you're the underdog.
Yeah.
If you're minus money, you're the favorite.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, interesting. As we're talking about the highlights, the main players here, who do you guys think is going to be the MVP of the actual league?
Of the actual league?
Yeah.
I think I want Saquon to get it, but I think it's between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
What do you think?
I mean I think the award can be skewed. Like I think Saquon's had. You look at Lamar Jackson, his season, sure. Like I think he'll win at the end. I think Lamar will get the award, but in terms of your value to a team, Saquon Barkley, no doubt, but he won't win.
If he would have beat the record, I think he would have gotten it. I think it would have been a no-brainer. And I don't even think it matters that he had one full game more because I think it really comes down to the touches.
Yeah, the carries. That's what it comes down to is carries, yeah. That's what it should come down to.
Mm-hmm. At 2,005 yards and 10 touchdowns, something like that. 2,005 yards, that's just absurd. Yeah. That's, however many less touches than Dickerson had.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think he had probably like 37 or 39 less touches than Dickerson. Yeah. So I think he would have completely smashed the record in less carries.
Yeah, I agree. But we didn't get there, unfortunately. And being the very humble person that he is, he opted to sit out in that last game just to, and I'm sure if he wanted to, he could have played. And even going back to some of the games prior in the career, he actually chose to sit down and let other kids play. So
it's a lose-lose, right? So if he plays in that last game, he gets hurt. The coaching staff, front office, Saquon, they're all in the hot seat, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't play, then you didn't let him get the record. There was absolutely no winning in that situation. So I don't know how they came to that decision, but clearly it was a team mentality of let's go for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And let's make sure you don't get hurt.
What I think was not only if he plays, you also have to play your offensive line.
Good point.
And at the same time, those guys need to rest, man. Right. They're getting beat up. So I think that was more of the decision. It's like, listen, if we play you, we also have to play the rest of the starters because obviously you don't want to run them behind, backups because you're going to risk getting them hurt.
And that makes sense, too. I agree. I agree with all of it. I agree, and I think that was the right decision to, unfortunately, I think that's going to cost them the MVP. If I was a betting man, I think Lamar Jackson.
No doubt.
Yeah, and I say that because of him having the touchdown record. He actually etched something in stone this year. So, and I think it was beating Michael Vick's touchdown record or something along those lines. But not taking anything away from Josh Allen. I've said this time and time again about Josh Allen. I will never dog the guy. I think he's a great athlete. I just say I think he's not going to win the Super Bowl with the Bills, I think it's going to take him leaving the Bills to win a Super Bowl.
But do you think Josh Allen doing more with less? Because, he had a skeleton crew of receivers out there, and versus, Lamar Jackson got King Henry back there. So it's like.
I also feel like Josh Allen had so many above average, maybe not elite, but above average targets. You had Dawson Knox, you had Kincaid, you had Keon Coleman, you had Shakir. Like he didn't. It's not like he had one or two, like Diggs. Like Diggs was his go-to guy with Gabe Davis, I believe.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
So,
Was it
so
last year?
that's like a one. It's like an A and a B. I
did
feel like
have
he had a
good
lot
targets,
of B's
yeah.
to hit this year, and plus obviously his running ability too.
Yeah, he spread the ball a lot more this year.
James Cook's a back that catches balls
I think
as well.
very underrated.
Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I think the Bills are going to have all of their weapons are coming back. If they don't win it next year, I think next year's the last year they can before it starts falling to pieces.
No
and
doubt.
People start getting bought out and traded and everything else.
Yeah, cap issues, absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said, MVP of the Super Bowl. What are you picking? I know you want to pick, but what do you think happens? What do you predict?
I'm gonna go Jalen Hurts. I'm just 2 push touchdowns.
Okay.
I also think that the run option he has with Saquon. I think the Chiefs are going to be so focused on stopping Saquon. He's going to be an option for him to have some of those QB draws. I think he picks up some yards in the ground.
I like it.
I think Hurts is going to get it.
What do you?
Saquon's going to win it.
Okay.
Yep. I think he's going to run all over the Chiefs, and he's going for at least 2 touchdowns.
You?
I'm going to go with my homie taking the MVP.
You think so?
Man, trust me. I want Saquon to be the MVP. I want him to just do something incredible like he did in the season. I want that so bad. He's a local kid. I want Saquon to go into the NFL Hall of Fame. I think the storyline is just perfect. I just don't know that it's going to happen. Mahomes right now, the kid's smart. I don't know. I just think Mahomes is going to become the MVP of the Super Bowl and win it on the last drive. Mark my words.
He doesn't mean that.
Mahomes winning it on the last drive. I don't want it to happen, but
I actually see the game a little different.
okay.
I actually see the game Eagles win double digits.
My guy.
I actually
look at the
feel
camera
that.
and say that.
I feel the Eagles will win by double digits.
Ooh, okay.
I have this.
Are you betting
feeling.
on it? Are you doing any bets?
I will do a little bit of betting. Yeah.
Okay. And what about you? Parlay man?
Listen, there'll be some money flying around.
Okay. I see some of these parlays that are coming up, and again, we're Worthy and Dotson and with AJ Brown getting more than 5 receptions. There's a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of people are thinking they know what's going to go on, but with that being said, though, I'm not a believer. Again, this is not the right thing to say to you guys, but I don't think the refs are really swaying these games like they're played out to be. Going back against the Bills, that first down.
Oof.
Like, first of all, why do you run it with your quarterback? I mean, he's a big dude, but again, you have Cook back there who I think Cook proved himself this year, 1,300 yards rushing, maybe more. Give it to Cook.
Yeah, but at the same time, Josh Allen has kind of been unstoppable on those sneaks.
But also, wasn't the tight end was also doing it for a while. The tight end was doing like the tush push, whatever. It was so close, and there was no actual video evidence. They had the one time where the ball looked like it was past the line, but his helmet was in the way. You just couldn't see it.
I thought it was first down.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
What made it really sketchy was that one of the officials actually said first down.
I saw that.
How far apart they were as they were walking
Yes.
towards the line.
So at that case, typically if one calls first down, will it get overturned? Probably not. But then they got together and said, he's short.
Right, yeah. Tough one, though. But again, obviously it shouldn't have came down to that play.
I think as former athletes, all of us, right? Like we take on the mindset. Like referees, they don't. The integrity to be a referee is stronger than making a call to influence a game, right? So I would never say a referee tried to influence a game one way or the other. You got to believe that they're making the call of what they see, and that's what I believe.
Yeah,
No
I'm
doubt.
with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're getting paid high dollars. Most of them are like lawyers and
Yeah.
reputable people in society. Yeah. So
it's, I mean, in that case, it's so hard for them to get a
No
good
doubt.
angle.
Yep.
You have a bunch of guys just piled up. How are you supposed to get an exact measurement?
Yeah.
Now, speaking of this, I heard it mentioned somewhere of chipping the ball to get a precise location on the ball. What do you think about that?
Chipping the ball?
Putting a chip inside the ball. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little excessive, but you know what? If they want to make things a little bit more precise and exact, then why not?
See, I also think imperfections make sports great.
I
You start going like robo refs
Yep.
and replays all the time. It takes away from the flow of sports.
Yep.
And I think missed calls sometimes make the sport
part of the
exciting,
game.
right? It's like I don't know, and maybe that's a bad take, but that's just how I feel.
What do they always say? Never leave it in the hands of the refs.
Yeah. Like an umpire
true,
in baseball, you're gonna have missed calls.
It's gonna work,
balls
yeah.
and strikes. You're gonna have it.
Yeah.
I know baseball's one sport that they have been experimenting with
technology.
with robo
refs.
umpires. Yeah. So I know they're doing it in the minor leagues. Do you think they would bring that to the pros?
I hope not. It's my take.
Why not? I mean, they brought the time clock, you know.
Which has sped up the
yeah,
games,
yeah.
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like sometimes, say you pay to go to a game, you're in the moment.
Sure.
I want the full experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't mind those long games.
Sure.
You know, you're eating, you're with your friends,
Drinking a
family,
beer,
whoever.
right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, at the end of the day, man, bringing in technology, like Steve said, it kind of takes away from the game. But you know, once you know, as these high dollars keep getting pushed into these games, into these sports, you know, people might want a little bit more technology.
Yeah, they don't want anyone
Accuracy.
at fault.
Yeah.
They want the
So-
accuracy. Yeah.
So, in order for the Eagles to win double digits, they're going to need to have the healthy roster.
Absolutely.
Is your boy coming back, Brandon?
So Brandon Graham has been practicing all week. He says there's a possibility he plays. I think he plays.
Now, what was the injury that he had?
Yeah, torn tricep.
Oh, okay. So it's possible. Now, I forgot about that. So a torn tricep, man, I might tear my tricep again to get into the Super Bowl and to get that,
It's one game.
$100,000 ring.
And possibly his last
That's what I was gonna
game.
ask. He doesn't have another year on his contract,
I don't think so.
so that
Interesting.
that could persuade
I
him
would
to get.
I would give
get in the
everything
action.
just to play.
Well said. And to go back against Tom Brady,
Strip sack.
he
for
pretty
the
much
win.
solidified that Super Bowl for them.
Strip sack out.
Did you see the video of him recreating it last game?
I did it. No.
Yeah, Tom Brady was on the sidelines and Brandon Graham went and like swiped at his arm.
Oh,
They started
yeah?
laughing together. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Huh. Yeah, he's a big hometown guy. What a story that would be if he comes back. And then if he makes an impact on top of that, kudos to him.
I don't think he'll play many snaps, but I think he'll be in the rotation.
Yeah, you have to imagine at this point in his career, he has to be a leadership role in the locker room. So
Oh, absolutely,
I imagine
yeah.
seeing him suited up, it will really drive that team to.
What is there? Only 3 guys left on this team from Super Bowl year?
That's a good
Lane
question.
Johnson, Brandon Graham, Jake Elliott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake Elliott.
There's not many left.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Then you have who else? Who else is injured out there?
So we lost N'Kobe Dean.
Okay.
What was it in the Rams game?
Don't remember.
Yeah, I know he made a tackle, and he said, "I'm done." You heard like he just.
Oh
he said, "I'm done."
Young kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what did he tear? His patella or something like that.
Mhm.
So he's done. That's a big loss. He played at an extremely high level all year. Linebacker. But at the same time,
Sure.
this other kid, Oren Burks, has stepped in and played solid.
Yeah, interesting. Then what about for the Chiefs? Do we even know? Is there any significant injuries for the Chiefs?
Rashid Rice, which probably is not going to play, I would guess.
I think both teams, they said relatively, are at full strength.
Yeah.
So that's that's why it's going to be a good game. I think no one's really
So
that injured.
obviously Andy Reid comes in here with just in my opinion, I think Andy Reid is a better coach than
Belichick?
Belichick, yeah.
Do you think Andy Reid goes down at the best coach?
I do.
Surpass Belichick?
I do. I'm only because I know what he did for the Eagles. The Eagles, when he was coaching the Eagles, they won every single year. They were in the NFC Championship every year. Now he's with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are in it every single year.
I mean, can we say dynasty?
Yeah. I agree. Well, I mean,
this would be the first time it's back to back to back, right? If the Chiefs win?
Yes.
So, I mean, if they win, for sure.
Right.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
There's not even a question.
Right. But aside of that, though, if they don't win, though, the guy is a winner at the end of the day, and his skill set, he does a lot of the offensive play calls. He builds the game around his quarterbacks. He's been known of doing that. He always implements his running backs into these, dynamic plays that he's always had good running backs. And then they got Spags back there as the defensive coordinator. That's going to be pretty wild. And then against Siriani, Siriani, I respect Siriani. He had a rough year last year. This year he's, I think, much more, I don't know, how would you say that? Straight, like focused maybe. Less worried about what fans think and all of that.
I think as years go by, like he's obviously, first-time coach, young coach. I mean, he's been a coordinator, but like head coach. He's just only going to keep improving, maturing. This year has been big for maturity for him. I think he's been more like, focused, keeping distractions off of him. So we'll see.
Good. Breakout players in the playoffs. We're all going to say the same person. I just want to give a little bit of attention to Saquon and just his abilities and his accomplishments during the playoffs were just absurd against great teams and great defenses. Yeah.
So, right? So it's always like, oh, this team is great against the run. What does Saquon do? Runs all over them. So
first play of the game, boom.
Yeah, literally to the house.
I think it's twofold with his success, right? The offensive line is incredible for the Eagles, incredible. I don't know if you saw the video of Jordan Mailata just running down the field.
Yeah.
But also the Saquon's ability to cut and go east to west on a dime separates him. Like you look at Derrick Henry, he's just going to bulldoze people. Yeah. Saquon, if he sees a hole and he's not in that lane, he's going to get to the lane because how fast he is laterally.
See, we've seen that in our lifetime. Like Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders. Like we've seen guys that have that cut ability, but then it seems like there's been such a large gap. And all of a sudden now Saquon, the way he's playing, it brings us back to our younger years.
I think Saquon is like a combination. He's shifty, but he's also a power back as well.
Yeah. And he's patient sometimes too.
Exactly.
Very patient.
It's crazy. Like he kind of just surveys, reads and reacts, and then as soon as he sees what he wants, he's gone.
It's crazy. Like he'll be running, boom, all of a sudden he cuts. It's like it's crazy how fast he can cut.
Yeah. I obviously the play, the hurdle play is just never seen
Kelly
anything
Green
like
Jays.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Just what an amazing play. I've just never seen anything like it. And then while we're on the subject, going back to the Giants management team.
Obviously, you being a Giants fan, how did you feel when they just let him go?
Yeah, I to be honest, I was cool with it.
Okay.
I was cool with it because I honestly felt like we were holding him back because I liked the kid. I just felt like the Giants were holding him down. I saw he started getting a reputation of being an injury-prone running back. And I'm like, all right, the kid's getting murdered out there. In the very beginning, he was such a highlight. And then the last year or two is like, all right, let him spread his wings. Let him go do what he wants to do if he wants to go make money. Also, at that time frame when he got traded, it was like the end of the high-paying running back era. Mm-hmm. So it was like, all right, he wanted the money. A couple of the guys out there wanted the money, but obviously the mindset at that particular time was nobody wanted to pay a running back. And going back to what's the show called?
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. I just, for them to say it, like, I'm going to lose sleep if he goes to the Eagles.
Yeah, but at the same time, like if you look at it, yes, like they see running back as a devalued position. But if you look, a lot of the higher paid running backs that were invested in, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley.
Mixon too.
Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
Mixon. They're all playoff teams.
Yeah.
They all made big impacts for their teams.
Well said. And perhaps this season might change that dynamic.
They all had explosive seasons as well on their new teams.
Well said. Yeah, you're exactly right.
So does that bring more value? Are they going to bring more value to that position now, or are teams still thinking, hey, we can get, draft a running back out of college and he'll have, 1,000 yards?
Yeah. It's a good point, man.
Or do you pay him more and you have an elite running back?
Yeah, I really think that they played it right, because Gainwell is an awesome stud, and I remember watching the one game where Barkley started off slow and he wasn't really getting a lot of yardage. Gainwell comes in right up the middle, boom, 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, and then when they brought Gainwell back out, then Saquon got back in, and then all of a sudden now he was picking up a lot of yardage. So I do like the double-headed monster.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I do think it adds value to that number one guy. So having a good, solid number two that can catch screens and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, so Gainwell has actually impressed me a lot this year.
Oh yeah,
he's come in and he's made every snap count. I mean he's big plays after
he's averaging
big plays.
5.4 yards a carry or something like that. And he's the strongest one on that team. They say he squats more than all of them. Hurts squats a lot. Saquon obviously. They say Gainwell is just a monster. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hurts, Saquon, they'd squat like 600 pounds.
Yeah, they say Gainwell shows them all up, and he's back there shoving when they do that twitch.
I think he's going to get a decent amount of money in free agency. He won't be here, I don't think.
Yeah. Do you? Where are you going to watch the Super Bowl?
We always have a Super Bowl party at our house.
Okay.
Always, yeah. So it's like tradition, I guess. I mean, it's like always. So, and I always welcome everyone as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What about yourself? What do you plan on doing?
Same, my house.
Yeah.
So I love cooking on Sundays, so it fits that Super Bowl this year. So fire up the smoker, maybe make some wings or something.
What's on the menu for Super Bowl?
Cheesesteaks for sure. As long as it's not, throw them on the Blackstone. Might smoke some wings, and then got some these bacon jalapeno wraps that throw in the oven. So a lot of good food for Sunday.
Yeah.
How about you?
So we always do a taco bar.
Okay.
Because taco bars, they're versatile. You can do walking tacos, you can do your nachos, you can do soft shell, hard shell. There's just so much, and who doesn't like tacos? It's just it's easy food, and goes a long way.
Put the foil down, make the nachos.
The nacho, yeah. Tried that once. It wasn't the greatest.
Okay.
So we might actually head down to Philadelphia. My wife's like, oh yeah, let's. My friends are going down to watch the game at Chicken Pete's, and
better get a hotel.
Yeah.
Roads may be
I'm just worried about my car. I'm like, I gotta take my company car down there. I just don't. How am I going to explain that to my boss? Yeah, my car is that one that was tipped over on the news.
Flipped.
Yeah, there's my product laying in the middle of the street.
If he's an Eagles fan, he will understand.
Yeah, true that. But it seems like Philadelphia has just been. It seems like they've been tailgating since they took the NFC Championship.
I'll tell you what, the Philadelphia Eagles have some of the most passionate, fans there is.
Yeah.
There's no bigger fans. I think the last playoff game, they were tailgating since 7 a.m.
Yeah.
It's insane.
You know what's also awesome about Philadelphia sports is the Wells Fargo Center, Citizens Bank Park, and the Link, and obviously now with Xfinity and the bars, they're right there. The parking lots are all connected.
Yeah.
Just seems like one big party in Philadelphia when the Eagles play. So,
off topic here. I don't know if you saw that they were trying to move the Sixers to Center City.
I saw that. Yep.
Chinatown. I didn't like that idea because I feel like keep them all in the same compound.
Yeah.
Because it's just so easy to just go down there. They're all located there.
Sure.
I think they shut that idea down.
They did shut it down,
which is crazy because it was approved.
It was.
City council approved it? Yeah, it
Yes,
was
it
approved.
was, yeah.
So whatever happened that it fell apart.
Embiid said no.
Actually, I think Xfinity stepped big into this, and they're investing a lot of money to keep them.
Interesting.
I was at the Sixers game Tuesday when they played Dallas. First Sixers game in forever. Awesome game one.
That's awesome. Embiid came back.
Embiid came back, had a triple-double in his first game in like 15 games that he missed.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, the place was packed for a Tuesday night, so it's hard to see why they want to move. They just have such a good crowd every night, even out of a playoff spot right now.
I gotta get to a game. It's just
So much fun.
Philadelphia fans show up.
Yeah.
It's never empty.
Well, do you know that there is a Kansas City Chiefs bar in Philadelphia?
Is there really?
Yeah, 100%. So,
What's it called?
it was on social media today, and it shut down. It shut down for the week.
No, weird.
I know. But no wonder it shut down. Christ, can you imagine? I'm surprised it's not burning right now. To be
Bull
honest.
rushed.
Yeah, but I don't know if we talked about it on this segment, but they had the young kid from the 18-year-old that was tailgating and partying after the victory. What a tragic accident.
Very sad. Very sad. Yep.
Yeah, climbing a pole, unfortunately fell. Just things like that always seem to happen. You know, there's shootings. Unfortunately, when a team celebrates their wins, it's not always in the best interest, and it gets a little messy.
Yeah, I think the adrenaline takes over everyone. Everyone's hyping each other up, and so you start acting out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They I've said this, and I hate saying this, but I think win or lose, I think Philly burns. Is that bad to say?
No, I absolutely agree with you. Win or lose, the city's going to riot either way.
I hate to say it, but yeah, it's going to be a good game, man. I'm excited for it. I really.
Should we do some score predictions?
Yeah. Let's do that.
You said double digits, Mr. L.
I see a 10-point win.
So what's the score, though?
27-17 Eagles.
31, 24 Chiefs. 31-24 Chiefs.
All right. This is where we're going to prove you wrong, though. The Eagles' defense won't give up over 23 points.
I hope so.
34-30 Eagles.
That's a close one. I just don't.
Look at the camera. Is that the play?
Yeah.
34-30 Eagles.
I just don't want Mahomes with the ball with the game on the line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon Grams might play, so
Imagine another strip sack.
Unbelievable.
Seal his legacy in a
Oh,
Philadelphia.
100%.
Yeah, they're building a
Eagles.
statue.
They already is, but
Yeah.
if he does something special again,
They'll build him a statue.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
I forget.
Does Saquon do over 100 yards rushing?
no doubt.
I absolutely think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does a Super Bowl win put Saquon in Hall of Fame contention?
I still think he needs to put up a few more solid years
Okay.
up. I think not that he wasted years in New York, but I think he was misused. He was kind of neglected, I want
Yeah.
to say. You
Okay.
should have built that offensive line was your priority and let him run.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't know. A quick answer, but I want to go back to the previous question. I think he gets over 100 yards simply on the fact they run the ball because they do not want Mahomes to have the ball. So they're going to stay. They're going to have their offense on the field as long as possible.
Okay.
And
So
that's why I see Kansas City lower score.
A lower score. So you're thinking. So that's obviously coaching. So, okay, interesting. Yeah.
Here's a little fact: Kansas City has not given up over 100 yards in the playoffs.
Here's another fact: when the coin toss has gone tails, the Eagles have lost the Super Bowl. When it went heads, they beat the Patriots.
So it's 1-1.
Oh, okay.
So here's some stats just to throw it out there. So Patrick Mahomes has had two 5,000-yard seasons. This year he's just shy of 4,000 yards at 39.28. He has 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions at a 93.5 quarterback rating. He's a Super Bowl MVP once, and he's a strong. Obviously, has very strong playoff/Super Bowl playing demeanor and record. Our boy Jalen is coming in. Jalen is at 15 games this year. He's at 2,900 yards passing, 18 TDs, 630 rushing yards, and 103.7 quarterback rating with 14 rushing touchdowns. So obviously Jalen is the leader of the Eagles. Even with Saquon there, Jalen is the guy. And I think the team acknowledges that. I think all of the fans acknowledge that. For how good Saquon is, I think Jalen is still the guy with no emotion, right? You guys saw the question and how the fans were questioning everybody. Just
Yes, yeah. There was a lot of weird questions.
yeah. They said that to Jalen, they're like, "Oh, do you like the tush push?" And he's like, "I don't call it the tush push. You guys call it the tush push." They kept asking him about it. He's like, "Listen, you guys call it. I call it a quarterback sneak." Somebody said to Travis Kelce, they said, "Travis, who do you love more, Taylor Swift or a ghost 15-yard roughing the passer penalty thrown 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage?" And he was like, "Next question."
The guy that asked Jalen, I think it's Guillermo. I want to say he's like a comedy reporter.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen him go up to like LeBron James, but his questions are always comedy and not actual questions. But everyone knows who he is, so I'm sure Jalen knew something silly was coming. But that guy's hilarious.
Interesting. So obviously you guys picked the Eagles. I picked the Chiefs. It's going to be fun. Maybe we'll do a second episode to kind of talk about the highlights and who wins. Maybe we'll do a friendly bet after this. Are you in any blocks? You do any blocks?
I did not. No
fantasy football either.
No, because I can't go against my team, man. And
Okay.
I found like myself cheering for guys against my team, and I said I can't do this.
Interesting. So you're a diehard fan. I get that.
Yes, absolutely.
You did blocks this year. Blocks,
Yeah.
Super Bowl blocks. I did. I went in heavy on blocks this year. I won. I only did 2 blocks last year, and I came out like $800 on top. So
I don't think I've ever won a block in my life. So this year's the year.
better win.
This year's the year.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys superstitious?
Yeah, I'd say
Are
yeah.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
To a certain point, I am too. So like, I always look at it like last time they won, what was I wearing? Like, who was there? Like, it gets down to a point like that. I was like, hey, only Eagle fans at my house. Like, I don't want no one rooting against my team.
Interesting. Yeah.
Down to a
I
shirt.
could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. Are you superstitious?
Not at all.
No.
No? Okay.
I was when the Eagles beat the Patriots. We were at PJ Willihan's, and I will not be going to PJ Willihan's.
I can see that.
this
Okay,
year.
I
I'm
got
staying
you.
in my house this year. So if they lose, it's my fault.
Win or lose, what is the Eagles' season looking like next year? Are they maintaining? Or?
I believe they have the youngest defense in the league.
Okay.
And defense, obviously, they picked up in Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, which
Blankenship.
2 studs. Blankenship has been solid. He came out of nowhere and just,
Yeah.
CJ, GJ. Eagles are going to be good for a while.
Gotcha.
I think Slay's gone after this year, though. Correct?
Slay said he has 1 more year
But
left,
not in Philadelphia.
and he wants it to be as an Eagle.
Oh,
Why is he older? Is he getting?
He's probably like 34, 35.
Is he? Oh, okay. Okay, so he's at the latter part of his career.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he said he has 1 year left, but he wants it to be as an Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
Will they bring him back? I don't know.
It just popped up now that we're talking about age and everything. The centers for the Eagles, are they healthy now? I know that last game they were
pretty banged up.
Probably
I
healthy.
think 2 weeks is a
helps.
good time. Absolutely, they're going to play, and I think everyone comes into this game, plays their heart out, no matter how they're feeling.
Because there was, rumor, speculation that Kelce, they reached out to Kelce and said, hey, would you willing to play? Would you play if these guys are banged up? Wouldn't that be a twist?
For 1 game.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
is that allowed? Can you just show up for the Super Bowl and play?
Absolutely. Money?
I mean, he was retired, I guess.
Yeah.
So you
the
could
fact
just
that he
come
was
in and
retired.
play.
Imagine.
Right.
That'd be
So there's
incredible.
there's no rule against eligibility or
yeah,
something.
like playing like a certain amount of
No.
regular
Yeah,
season
no,
games or
no,
something.
Okay.
No.
And I know what sport is it? I think is it baseball where like you have to play a certain amount of like games in order to like be
Qualify for the
eligible?
playoff roster. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And do you have to have a playoff roster set before the playoffs? I don't know how it works in football.
Or does it go? Every round is different.
I don't know. Do you have like a practice squad you can call guys up from?
Yeah,
I
but
think
so,
I think
yeah.
the fact that he's retired, it takes all of that out of the equation.
Gotcha.
I don't know that I'm going to wear my Taylor Swift jersey for the game.
I mean, like, does it get to a point where like you're getting tired of just making it all about her and less about like the game?
Well, to be honest, man, I think that's one of the reasons why the Chiefs brought back Travis Kelce, because they saw all of a sudden the spark
Business
of revenue
opportunity.
coming in, a business opportunity.
No doubt.
I mean, the dude's 34 years old. Do you bring him back again and hope that this all happens again, which it very well could be?
Now, do you think he had an off season this year?
No,
He started slow, didn't he?
He did start pretty slow.
Yeah. Oh, I had him as fantasy. I think he freaking sucked for me. But I think that they also brought in there's another tight end that was starting to do well, and then they were spreading the ball all over the place. I don't really know that there was a highlight player.
Yeah,
on that offense.
I don't really think they have a focal
Sure.
point in the offense. I think they're spreading the ball around.
It's kind of like the Bills, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
During the playoffs, I think Kelce certainly, him and Mahomes, they have that. He knows when Kelsey's going to turn around and cut the other way, and like they have that great relationship. But
They also say that Kelce runs his own routes. Like
Yeah,
they call
yeah,
a
that's
play
what-
and he just gets himself
Right.
open. He doesn't even
Freelances. a lot,
he freelances and
Right.
Mahomes just finds him.
But just like Mark Andrews for the Ravens, what's his name, number 80, the new tight end?
Likely.
Likely,
It's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think
And
he's good,
Andrews lost a season. Andrews lost it for them.
Sure did.
So do I see Andrews even on that team next year? No, unfortunately. Likely's awesome, and he's fast, and he's big. Roll with Likely. Now, that doesn't mean Andrews is bad or sucks. He just had an off end of the season
Is
there.
he still under contract though?
I don't know. Well,
And do you run the double tight end?
yeah.
If
I
he's
mean,
still under contract, he'll stay.
they said his wife was getting death threats. Like the city was torching.
I
him.
mean, that was the game.
Sure.
I mean, you costed them the game.
Twice. He
Twice.
fumbled it, yeah.
That game.
Or in the fourth, then he dropped a 2-point
Now, do you-
conversion.
I actually think if Baltimore comes out of that game, Baltimore beats the Chiefs.
Mhm.
I think there was a better matchup for them. Yeah.
Well, I think that was what was being said towards the latter part of the season is whatever AFC powerhouse wins is going to win the Super Bowl.
I don't see that though. I just think the Eagles were just like so much more dominant than these other teams.
I hope you're right, brother. I do think that although A.J. Brown, Chiefs play one-on-one defense. For some reason, that's their repertoire. They're going to play one-on-one defense. If they play one-on-one against A.J. Brown, he's smoking them every time.
He's
And
gonna
Devontae
cook.
Smith.
Yeah, they're both going to cook. Yeah.
Yeah, but because they're predicted to do that, are they going to do that?
Do you think the Chiefs try to stop the run at all cost?
Well, they kind of have to in a
think
sense
so?
because they have Hurts and Saquon.
But at that point, you're leaving
Wide
the
open.
other weapons.
But
yeah.
make Hurts make a throw.
I think that's going to be the move. Is they're going to make him beat him with his arm.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, well, you have Devontae Smith, who won the Heisman. A.J. Brown, I think, was in the top 5. I think they're solid across the board. Dotson was, is sick out there, and then obviously Dallas. So
Yeah, AJ Brown is a freak athlete. Did you know he actually drafted? They drafted him at pro baseball as well.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he chose football, but I think he was here a few years ago. They did like the celebrity softball game at Coca-Cola Park.
yeah.
And this dude's a freak athlete. He's hit him over the actual fence.
Jesus.
Yes, I know they put like a short fence. No, he's hit him out the complete
The
fence.
ballpark, yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
I mean, they say they compare him to T.O. In terms of body wise. I know he's a big dude. He's a big,
Oh, yeah.
strong dude. And then Devontae, man, you just never take anything away from
The
him.
Slim Reaper.
Awesome. And that dude doesn't drop a ball. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a fun
Yeah.
one. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think with that being said, man, so obviously I'm the odd one out here. I think the Chiefs are going to win, but
Go Birds.
The
yeah,
Birds.
we'll see what happens. Guys, thanks so much for coming out. It's
Thank
been
you.
fun. Maybe we'll come back and have a little, repeat session, and maybe we'll have a side bet and see who wins or
Post-Super
loses.
Bowl.
When the Birds win, you got to put an Eagles jersey on for the next one, all right?
We're gonna get Saquon jersey.
I had jerseys in the past. I even think I have an old Donovan jersey. When they came into town, I used to go down. I used to see them. I used to take the kids down to Lehigh.
So you're not an Eagle hater.
Yeah, I'm not an Eagle hater. Anyways, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Checking out, guys. Worky Wednesdays. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you after the Super Bowl. Boom. Good stuff, fellas.